But this is what's funny that you're doing this. I remember us being at Bliss Cafe,
Right.
waiting for like an open mic or waiting for our time to go up. And you and Maurice and I forget who else, but we're arguing over Kanye West about either him being the next big thing, the GOAT. It was like whatever you guys were saying, it was just like, because I remember it was like, oh man, him in the with the way he had his hair in the you got my money. I can't think, Gold Digger. You guys were like, that was the flyest thing anybody's ever done in hip hop.
Right.
And it just, I remember it left such an impression on me because everybody was so passionate about it. Why is Kanye West one of the most divisive people in hip hop, where it's either he is the greatest of all time or he's ruining the genre of music?
I mean, he says it himself. He says, people hate me because I speak from my soul. You know what I mean? He says exactly what a lot of people might be thinking. Like he was like the first troll, you really think about it. In hip hop music, man. And so I think, you watch his documentary. You seen his documentary on Netflix? I
haven't yet. I don't watch anything, bro. I come home at night. I'm 42 years old. I sit on my couch. I fall asleep. Right now I'm trying to watch 60 Days In. Do you watch that shit?
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
It's just watch it. It blows my mind that anybody would go to jail for 60 days. Like just like it's insane. It's insane. But continue. I'm sorry.
It was like nobody believed in this guy. You understand? Kanye came out during the era of gangster rap, hip hop, Jay-Z, the Beanie Siegels, and Dipset. So he was this suburban dude who wasn't a gangster, and nobody believed in him. Nobody thought, because it wasn't we couldn't fathom Kendrick Lamar and Drake and J. Cole at that time. So all we saw was his hood gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? So for him to come in and to be wearing pink and to not be a hardcore dude, which is so crazy. It was no way he could have got. Imagine the 90s, during the era of Tupac and Snoop, and somebody would have signed Drake. You can't imagine that shit.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And so for all the gangster era to be as gangster as it was, for this soft ass guy, this soft spoken dude to come in, they didn't believe in it. So I think it's now all this is like, fuck you, I'm here now. And I think he had to have that bravado to kind of fit in.
But all right, but you said that somebody couldn't see something like that, like a guy coming in and being so different than what was popular at the time. But in the same era of hip hop, kind of like, when you're talking about Snoop and everything, you have that. I don't want to call it woke hip hop, but it's like you have Tribe Called Quest, you have people like Common.
But think about it. Tribe Called Quest was like 89, 91. And Snoop comes in, and that's the gangster rap era. Nobody's listening to Q-Tip really. When Snoop hit, that shit was gangster rap. If you wasn't gangster, when nothing else moving. Then the era changes constantly, right? So right before Kanye, you had all this Jay-Z. You had, come on, DMX, Jay-Z. Kanye's not coming out in that era. You know what I mean? Dipset's here. Eminem's on his crazy shit. That was the movement. 50 Cent about to drop. You know what I'm saying? And then Kanye changed the mood. So when Kanye dropped, it's like, oh, now the regular guy who doesn't get in VIP, he can fucking shine. So what opens after that? Drake. J. Cole can come in. Kendrick Lamar come in. He changed that whole piece. So I think the gangsters weren't ready to let it go. And Kanye West was the one that's like, no, you don't have a choice. I'm the new sheriff in town, man. So I think that's where all the attitude and ego comes from. And just the fact that he knows how great he is. And humility is kind of like a boxer. We're okay with arrogant boxers. We're not okay with arrogant rappers to that point. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. And also he has mental issues. So
100% he has mental issues. 100% he is mental. Any person that works in like the psychiatric field is kids like, oh, he's a something narcissist with a serious something. I don't know all the terminology, but you can like lay it out. I see the post constantly with all the shit that he's done.
So mix a narcissist with extremely talented person. You're gonna get Kanye.
I'm not going to disagree that I don't think Kanye West is probably one of the most talented people that's ever been involved, not just in hip hop, but in music. Right. Because I think what I love about Kanye so much, taking away anything off stage, because the shit that he's doing now, which we'll get to, but it's like, I feel like it's tarnishing this incredible career of this dude that I'm trying to think of the first instant I remember I heard Kanye West, and I'm excluding anything in the idea of just the beats that he might have produced and I might have heard, but I didn't realize it was him. I went to so when I was in college, I was a bar mitzvah wedding DJ, and we used to get these CDs once a month that had all like the new songs in each genre, and it was like hip hop, whatever. What year did this come out? This record came out in. Hold on, let me just check.
I want to say,
the record. The debut studio album, 2004. So in 2004, I got the CD and it had Through the Wire on it, and I remember listening to it and seeing then the music video for it and being like, all right, this is a good song. It's nothing that like it wasn't life changing. It wasn't like, oh man, I fucking love this record and this guy's gonna be one of the biggest people in hip hop. It was just a hip hop song that I was like, it sounds good and I like the beat.
Right.
But it was when the Eagles played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, which I think might have been that year or the year after. Pretty sure it was 2004, 2005. I was going to Philadelphia with my buddy Evan Weinstein, who is this big rave promoter and now owns this pizza place that I've talked about a million times in Baltimore called Underground Pizza. And
Jewish pizza place?
Rell, this is like, you talk about people that fucking like that blew up during COVID. Like this dude was a rave promoter, like the biggest parties in DC, Baltimore, and in Philly. The pandemic hits. He starts making these pizzas in his kitchen, like square Detroit style with the sauce on top, right, and starts posting about it. And people start going, oh man, that's dope. Can I get one? So he goes, all right, well, I'll start selling them out of my car and meeting with people and setting up these little like one-off things around Baltimore. Dude, literally a year later, he's got his own store at Power Plant Live in downtown Baltimore. Now he's got 4 stores, one in Towson, one in downtown Baltimore, I think one in Silver Spring, and I'm pretty sure another one in like Montgomery County, like Columbia or something.
Occupation.
Dude, he's the Kanye West of rave promoters. Like but that's what I'm saying. Some people think out the box, just like Kanye, which we'll get to. But we listened to this record on the way up to Philadelphia, and I remember hearing, a lot of the record. It's good. It sticks out to me, and I'm like, yeah, I like this. I like the beats. But then you hear something like Jesus Walks, and being like, what the fuck is this?
That's how I got on. My mom is, she's a black mother, DC, super Christian, and she's like, we listen to more. She hates rap, like most Christian mothers do. And she's like, that Kanye West. The song about Jesus is pretty good. I remember her saying, I remember being like, all right, mom, whatever. And it came around maybe like a couple months later that I heard it. It's like, this is a Christian rap song? That's how I look at it. But the beat was too good and what he was saying was too fly. So my first introduction was from my mother who put me on to his music, dude. I swear to God, right? And then later on in college, I was like, I used to like book arts acts to come.
Yeah.
And Kanye was one act. We had booked him as a producer because he used to do records for Jay-Z, like Never Let Me Down and all the Blueprint album records. So we booked him as a producer, but they said he got a couple of songs. We didn't care. And he came to the show. I remember some girls picked him up from the airport and he was riding in the car with some girls from the campus. And he's playing his own music. And they're like, this is the corniest motherfucker alive. And he came on. The crowd didn't really know him yet. And he played his records. He had so much passion. And this is the crazy part. She said, I want to introduce my opening act. Again, my man, give it up for John Stevens. And that guy was John Legend.
No right? Shit, yeah.
This when Kanye didn't have shit. And he was like, who's this dude? It was a college dropout. It was a college era. And we just all was like, all right, this guy's dope. But no one thought it was going to be to the point where it's got now. That's how I got
I don't think anybody did. When do you think was the turning point in Kanye's career where he went from just a regular dude making hip hop records to, oh, this might be the next big thing?
Honestly, man, it took me a while. I think his third album was his best, my personal opinion.
Graduation.
Yeah. But I think it was the second album when Jay-Z said, damn, you where I am. Jay-Z said, damn, Kanye, you where I'm at on the record, on the Diamonds Is Forever record. I remember being like, Jay-Z equated him to himself. And Jay-Z to me was God, you know what I'm saying? So when he did that, I was like, this guy might be that dude, and he produced as well. And then Watch the Throne is when Jay-Z don't do an album with somebody.
Yeah, unless it's R. Kelly. Who was
the Jay-Z of R&B?
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, oh shit, like Kanye really is that guy. And I would argue now, when it comes to greatness, he's I can't give it over Jay only because I just was a Jay fan for so long. But outside of music and shoes and fashion, like Kanye kind of innovated the sweatpants, cargo pants thing. Like that's a classic pant thing now. Like Yeezy's so more than Jordans, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Do you? All right. Now, speaking 100% true. Do you think Yeezys are good-looking shoes?
I do, because I have 2 pair. But
which kind? Wait, which kind though?
I have the frozen yellow and I have the light blue joints. But the fact that Jordan was the quintessential urban shoe for 500 years, and Kanye even they beat him for a year, that in a sense his greatness can't be questioned after that.
Have you seen like? Do you remember the first Yeezys? God, what's his name? Wait, Edgar, can you pull shit up? Okay, can you pull up a picture of the first Yeezy Nike, like the Nike Yeezys? Because they look to me exactly. Do you remember? You ever watch The Simpsons, Rell?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Homer Simpson found his long lost brother and he owns that car company and he was like, "I want you to design the car for every man." And Homer designs this car because I have it on my phone, but I don't know if you can see it. Ethan, can you pull up the first Yeezy? So find the yellow one. No. Go scroll. Go down a little bit. Go down. Keep going down. Fuck, where is it? It's no, it's that one right there. Things is cool. Nike Air Yeezy 2. Go over to the right. Down. We'll cut this part. we'll leave some of it. Keep that. Now type in Homer Simpson. Type in Homer Simpson car Powell Industries. Peter, when you're editing this, like Powell, Powell. God, I know The Simpsons way too well. There it is. Wait, click on that. Click on no, go over one more. Go over one more right there. That's what his shoe looks like to me. You can't see it fully. But that's it, dude. It's the ugliest thing I'd ever seen. No. I mean, I think the way the Yeezys have like turned now, like some of them, like the original ones that came out, I thought they were like the real fabric-y looking ones. I think the ones that you're talking about, the real yellow ones that you have, I like those, but I've seen some of the stuff now. Like I sometimes when I'm on the road, we'll go to like a shoe store and I just like to peek around, and there's some of them that are some of the ugliest things. Like, do you think those fucking phones?
2010 when the skinny jeans was popping, those shoes fit for that era. You know what I mean? You get that stuff at the time.
No, I'm not saying, dude, the ones, the original Yeezys, not those, but the original Adidas Yeezys that came out that everybody was like getting in Los Angeles, you would go, and it wasn't just people like that we fucked with, that we knew, that we looked up to. It was like just typical white bitches at Erewhon. You know what I mean? Like that was when I was like, Jesus Christ, like these things are blowing up. And you really wouldn't see like just like regular moms wearing Jordans, but you started seeing everybody, like Kris Jenner before Kim dated Kanye was wearing Yeezys. Okay, I wanted to get to this because you mentioned something. You said Jay-Z is God. What makes Jay-Z God, and why is he so respected? So why is that cosign from him so important?
Jay-Z has, like LeBron James, he is arguably the best in every statistical category. He talks about this. I'm leading the league in most points, most wins. And my interviews are Holla, that's a verse from one of his records. Every single thing, when it comes to fashion, Jay-Z was in front of that. Rockefeller. When it comes to lyrics, bar for bar, we can do Jay-Z lyrics all fucking day. Is one of the greatest lyricists. Street, the dope boys in the streets, they knew him, they fucked with him. The women fuck with him. He had the records. His wife is got the baddest bitch in my gang wearing my chain, got Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to class and carrying himself, he never really had too many crazy moments and shit.
Except when he got beat up by Solange.
He was already at that point, right? He built a brand as far as Rock Nation, Rockefeller with athletes. You know what I'm saying? He put on other artists. His latest album, he said, how many billionaires came from Hove crib? I think I'm saying Ye, Ree, and me. whatever. Him, Kanye West, Rihanna, technically LeBron's a rock boy, that's 4 technically. Every category of rap superstardom he has achieved. Big tours, he's went platinum. There's nothing he hasn't done as a rap, the standard. That makes him the greatest of all time. As much as I love Big, we can't take away from Jay-Z because Big ain't here. We can only measure 2 albums. You know what I'm saying? I consider Life After Death the greatest hip-hop album of all time, personally. It's a Big second album. But Jay-Z has done everything. There's no category you can't, no matter how many hits Drake got, the streets never was like, I'm a Drake guy. And the streets matter because hip-hop came from the streets. Even though Drake's amazing. The streets were never like Jay. They fuck with Ye, but he was never a street guy. So the dope boys and the white girls from Iowa all can fuck with Jay-Z. And I don't think it's really a conversation anymore. And that's why he's the best. So if Jay-Z says, damn, yeah, you what I am, that's a huge level of credit. That's like if one day we're walking and Chappelle says, hey, you're the next me. Like how that would fucking kill us.
Yeah, I get that. No, I understand that. I think that Kanye getting that, around, you said the second record is when he got that cosign from him?
I think the second record, something like that. Second record, he was like, I'm the guy. Third record, I think he was the guy. He had his moment. Remember, it was like Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, and I think Ye had a little spot. 50 Cent had a spot. You know, it's like LeBron James. LeBron James could have 12 MVPs like Jay-Z, but you got to give it to James Harden one. You got to give Russell Westbrook one. You got to give, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think Kanye, Lil Wayne, and 50 Cent all could have claimed that title once or twice while doing Jay-Z's run.
Yeah, but sorry. So thinking about the music that came out around this time, like as you had mentioned it earlier, like what? Because I'm trying to recall what the popular hip hop was pre Kanye really dropped. Besides Jay-Z, I feel like that was the era of a really like a dark period in hip hop. Because
it was 03, 04. So that's a little bit later. DMX, Ja Rule was the guy. Ja Rule was the guy. You couldn't deny him. Ja Rule was the guy before Kanye, right? And then 2000, what happened in 2002? That boy 50 Cent come out, right?
Yeah.
Kanye was almost a backlash to the gangster shit that 50 Cent had brought in. Shit was so aggressive, nobody got along. It was so angry, it was so dark, but 50 was the man. And then here comes this guy Kanye, who had already had beats. But that era was all Jay-Z, Ja Rule, 50 Cent, and then Kanye kind of was the alternative to that. I really believe that's what helped him. Because we were so used to the gangster shit, you know, he was a breath of fresh air. That makes sense.
Would you call Ja Rule gangster shit?
He was. Like we think about the hits. We forget about Ja Rule was awesome. I murder a motherfucker. Ja Rule was super gangster when he came out. The hits were soft, but everybody in the videos were thug niggas. You know what I'm saying? So
really,
yeah.
Dude, I remember.
Ja Rule was the money murder clique. That's how he came out. And you forget they had a crew like a crew. It was Irv Gotti. It was DMX, Jay-Z, and Ja Rule. That was their crew. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as Jay-Z talking about drugs in the album and putting out "I Just Want to Love You" about the women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
DMX was still putting out gangster shit, but he was like, how's it going down? You know what I'm saying? The hit record ain't who they were. Ja Rule was Queens, bro. He ain't no.
I know that, but it's like I never heard any of the deep cuts off any of the records other than what was presented to me, you know, on the radio or on MTV. And all of that was, you know, whatever I do without my baby, like that shit. By the way, I do a fucking killer Ja Rule impersonation. I have the Ja Rule gravel. I have everything.
Right.
So this record then.
Right.
How, like we touched on it, but like how important is this record in changing hip hop from this point on? Is this a pivotal moment in hip hop music? Or is this just like the beginning of the pivotal moment that's to come through other shit that Kanye did?
Kanye, you can argue he's the greatest for 2 reasons. He's changed music twice, right?
Okay. This
first record, before hip hop was the zoo, right? We can watch DMX. We don't live that life. We can say, "Oh, that's the zoo. I want to watch that movie. That's a Tarantino flick. That's Scarface, right?" But we couldn't relate to that. We just watch it and enjoy it and dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
The regular guy, the college guy, the mailman, the fucking the guy with the regular 9-to-5 job, we can't relate to DMX. We can enjoy it, but the hood is only 2% of communities, right? The regular me and you, we can't, you know what I'm saying? Kanye made it okay to be us. Kanye said, oh, we're the guy who can't get into the club. He made it okay. So then people started rapping to the regular guys. You forget about that. Before that, motherfuckers weren't talking about their emotions. Motherfuckers weren't crying on record. Motherfuckers weren't talking about losing a girl. Everybody was cool and fly. Everybody was Jay-Z. I get all the bitches. Kanye was like, nah, I was a loser. I got picked on. He wasn't fucking with me. And that spawned what? That opened the door for what to be able to happen. Emotion.
Drake and fucking XXXTentacion,
all that shit. You couldn't do that before, Ye. So that was the first thing. The regular, we didn't think we could cater to the regular college girl, regular college guy. And Ye did that with College Dropout, the regular dude, the suburban dude who wasn't a thug. People before when we were coming up, you had to be a thug to rap. If you weren't selling drugs, you couldn't really rap. Like nobody really wanted to be Tribe. We like Tribe. You don't want to be. You didn't feel like Tribe got the bitches. They might have, but it wasn't like that. Wasn't they were like they weren't cool on a commercial sense. The girls and the hoes and shit. They were just like the rap guys. But it wasn't like a bunch of girls like I want to fuck. The rest of Tribe Called Quest other than Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nobody want to fight dog. Yeah.
Right. You're trying to fuck. Fight Dog wasn't on your poster. You know what I'm saying? Ye did that. And then when he did 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yeah.
He kind of, T-Pain brought in, but he elevated the sound, right?
Yeah. So
he elevated with Roger Troutman's auto-tune, right? And he cried on the record. He was the rapper singing, right?
Yeah.
With Ja Rule, he took to another level. He had John Bryan producer. That's a rock,
Yeah, that's very known for
Fiona Apple and
not hip hop at all. Like
not hip at all.
Yeah.
And so very few artists would have went to John Bryan to create sounds. Jeff Basker and all these guys, Mike Dean. So he allowed us to do that. And I truly think there would not be our three biggest rappers right now, in my opinion, are Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole. And the three biggest rappers would not be here without Kanye. It would still been gangster shit. I really believe that. So he is responsible for rap today, in my opinion.
Do you think that this record shows that? Like shows any of maybe we already touched on this, but aside, I'm trying to think of the songs from this record that are different than anything else besides Jesus Walks, because like you said, nobody is making a pro Christianity record, and it's coming out with a music video, that's like, I mean, I'm trying to remember what the music video was, but it's like I remember it being the song meant so much to Kanye West. He made 3 music videos for it using over $1 million of his own personal money. One video was for BET, one for MTV, and one for MTV.com. I think the notes I have on this, he challenges getting Jesus. Let me take this again. Kanye West knew the challenges of getting Jesus on secular radio. When songs in the past referred to Jesus, they had to say he or him. And somewhat recently, God is being accepted, but never Jesus. In his second verse, he challenged radio stations with the following lyrics. So here we go. My single dog radio needs this. What they say, you can rap about anything except for Jesus. Yeah, go ahead.
All falls down. I mean, that album is the bridging of the gap, right? You had conscious rap, Talib Kweli and all these guys. You had backpack rappers, super raucous kind of rappers type of shit, like Juice and all those underground dudes. And then you had commercial rappers like Jay-Z and Ja Rule. And he kind of combined them all. Conscious rappers weren't selling, especially in the 2000s. After the Shining Suit era killed conscious rap, right? And he combined all 3 of them, But you forget, he had Mos Def and Freeway on a song, right? We never seen that before. You wouldn't see a fucking gangster commercial rapper with Mos Def. He did that, and we hadn't seen it before. And I think he took that and ran with it, and he kind of brought all the worlds. I don't want to fucking throw in a roast battle reference. That was kind of what we did for roast battle, whereas you had the off kids from Silver Lake battling, Teddy Ray, a hood kind of black urban comic, right? And you had the mainstream guys battling the feminists, you know what I mean? we kind of combine those worlds, and I think Ye did that, and we haven't seen it before. And then what did he do? He made Common Go commercial. Kanye's first big commercial album was because of Ye was producing. Talib's biggest record ever commercially, Get By, produced by Kanye. He brought all these dope indie rappers who only had a small fan base becomes commercial stars. So that was a whole other level of shit he did. And that all spawned from this first album.
Do you think he's a better rapper or a better producer?
100%
on this record. Let's talk about this record and then on the other side. Just on this record, what do you think?
He hadn't evolved yet. So this record, he was still a RZA baby with the soul samples to me. Yeah. He was, if you're familiar with No ID, he did a lot of common shit. He was still a common baby with soul samples. I don't think he evolved yet. I don't think his evolution came until 808s, when it was like, oh, this is a totally new sound that we haven't experienced before. So not yet. I think, and I told you this in the text, and I might get heat for it. I don't give a fuck. I think he's greater. I think he's better than Dr. Dre.
As a producer.
As a producer. This is why I say that. And I know if people say, like, what the fuck? We live in Dr. Dre nostalgia, right? When we think Dr. Dre's best work, we go back to Doggy Style, kind of classic albums, no doubt, right? But we're not quoting Dr. Dre now, right? You know what I'm saying? Ye got classics from 2000 and 1999 records production all the way to today. He's still producing classic records today. And he never really took time off. Dre'll stop for 10 years. Now, that's not Kanye's fault, but it's when it comes to consistency, and Dre's responsible for Snoop Dogg, Eminem, a little bit of 50 Cent.
NWA, don't forget about which I mean, that's like, he was the first person, like NWA, especially for doing this podcast, Rell, it's like I realized that what NWA did, it wasn't hip hop, it was punk rock. They did everything against, it was the same shit that the Sex Pistols did. Right. And it's like, and then the funny thing, even more than that, they took all of that from like the old school country shit, the outlaw country. That's basically the most punk rock and the originator of punk rock, in my opinion. But Dre, I mean, without Dre, you don't have any of this.
You don't have any of this shit, 100%. But I look at it like without Julius Erving jumping from 3-point line, the free throw line.
You don't have Jordan.
You don't have Jordan.
Yeah.
So it all evolves on each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think Ye has been able to take it out of it. You can't even when people say he's not a great rapper, you can't even make him you got to compare Ye to Michael Jackson, bro. You can't
really.
He's Michael Jackson, dog. Where he's gone, what he's done, the influence, the controversy. He's not a rapper, bro. Like when people say he has 10 writers, he's not. He's in a different category. And I think it's unfair to put him in just that one place.
What is your favorite era of Kanye? Like, what out of all of the different eras? Because like, what are there? There's this one, which is the polo shirt. You kind of might have said this, but I might be labeling it wrong. I want to call it like nerd rap. Like you had mentioned, it was like he's for the regular guy rap. And then the second record, it was more of a cocky. I mean, wouldn't you say so? Like, I would say the next record after this, it was like he fully owned that he is like the next big thing. And I'm pretty sure it was around the second record where he walked on stage with the Taylor Swift thing.
Right.
Edgar, look that up. When did Kanye West go on stage for the Taylor Swift thing? And then you have Graduation, which I guess is like his electric period where he starts doing like EDM shit.
Yeah.
And then you have 808s and Heartbreaks, which is like, his mother, did she pass away? She passed away, right? And
breast surgery, and then she died.
So she passes away. He makes, in my opinion, people will say A Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his best record. I think it's extremely mature, but 808s and Heartbreaks, to me, that record and then Yeezus are like, I think are the two biggest. I just think those, out of all the stuff that he's done, those are the two that really fucking stick out to me as like, these are the ones that I listen to on a like.
But they're also the most non-hip hop ones. I think for me, Graduation is my favorite Kanye record, right? But I think that's when he knew he was that guy. He was trying to be that guy the first two albums, Graduation, I'm the guy. And I think that confidence is why I liked it. And he was transitioning before he became this whole thing that he is now. And I think what's great about Graduation though is because he made that album, he had the freedom to kind of experiment. He says it himself. He says, my Twisted Dark Fantasy was because my fans didn't like 808s and Heartbreaks. So it was kind of my apology, or like, okay, I had to have a moment. My mom died. Now I'm back to my shit. This is for y'all. So he said he did that record for the fans because he was in a space with 808s, right? But 808s was his most creative undertaking where he didn't give a fuck no more. And we can see that's probably his most influential album, I think, to date. Because what happened right after the album? All the great rappers we have now came out. That album said, oh, you can do this shit? You know what I mean? And I think sound-wise, that's the most influential album he's ever had. And I don't know if he'll hit that again because that's before he really had the clothes popping. That's before he really had that he was a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Before Kim, that was his last space of creative freedom I think he had before the pressures came of, you know, I got to do all this other stuff. So I give 808s the most influential, but my personal favorite is Graduation.
Graduation. Yeah. What's the hits on Graduation besides Bigger, Better, Faster, Stronger? I'm trying to think what else is on there.
Intro, man. You had Good Morning. You had
what's that guy? There's a guy the one that's like din 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 din. I'm not doing. It's, you know, fuck. I'm gonna fuck it up.
I know. Yeah.
I love that song.
Shit, Can't Tell Me Nothing. I had dreams I would buy my way to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Flashing Lights. Oh my gosh, that video.
That's it. That's the song. That's a great song.
There was no bad record on that album. There was no okay record to me on the album. I love that fucking album, dog.
Do you think that, like, when do you think that Kanye started losing the label as just a genius artist and you know, someone with mental problems? When did you think that started happening?
I think Yeezus. I think Yeezus Yeezus felt angry. You know what I mean? Even though they were great records like New Slaves and shit. I'm in it. He wouldn't even rap. He'd have like 5 bars in the verse. I think he just became angry. I don't know what for. And I think the sadness of his mom had kind of waned. And now it's like, fuck everybody type of shit. I'm mad at my life, this industry. And I felt very, very, he called himself Jesus. Like, I'm Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's when he became, okay, this motherfucker on some other shit. And by the time we got to Kids See Ghosts, he was gone.
Yeah. Do you think it's kind of like, I mean, it just feels like anybody that has been married to a Kardashian. Right. By the way, have you seen this thing today that just came out where Ray J is basically showing proof that Kris Jenner, like, literally was like, all right, yeah, I didn't like that sex tape. This one, she's not, you can kind of see her fat. All right, this one right here, we released that one. It's like, when you hear that kind of shit, which you have to assume is true because Ray J's like, I mean, I know Ray J's not in the limelight and he's still hanging on to this sex tape, which is keeping him pretty much relevant. But like, you have to see what happens to anybody that's involved with a Kardashian. Right. They all just, Lamar Odom, Tristan Thompson, Bruce Jenner, for Christ's sake. Well, I'm sorry. Caitlyn Jenner, I'm sorry. Anybody that's, dude, fucking even Tyga was like a rapper and now he's shooting fucking OnlyFans porn. Right. Like, do you think that there is kind of like a Madden curse with the Kardashians, or do you think it's just they seem to choose like these genius people that just are already kind of mentally unstable? I don't think so at all. I think they're a Hollywood family and everybody's not used to Hollywood. Lamar Odom's from Queens, he's from the hood. Tyga from the hood. Yeah, he's from Chicago. These are dudes who aren't used to, like, for example, like, I didn't see cocaine until I was in college. Mm-hmm. Black communities we don't grow up with cocaine. We smoke weed and people do drugs and shit. They did crack in the 80s, but cocaine isn't a popular thing in Black communities, right? And so, because it costs money, and a lot of Black people ain't got money to be buying cocaine. They'll do other shit. We fuck with the drink, the Remy and the Cavassier and shit. And so, when you get to the Kardashian family, that's Hollywood. They've been rich forever. So now all this access is there.
And if you don't know who you are, you can fall down a fucking drain, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think it's meant. Lamar Odom was perfectly fine before he met Chloe.
Yeah.
So it's a mental health issue. I think it's, you go into that world, you know, Lynn Bias, you see around all these fucking crazy access at University of Maryland, you get fucked up. So I think they just got fucked up with every access you have, man. But that would not stop me from dating Kendall.
Do you think that in a heartbeat? Do you think that his career got worse after the beginning? Because I mean, Kim's right before Yeezus, and then I guess during Yeezus, and then up until now, it's like we're talking about that division of all the albums before that, which you mentioned, and everything you mentioned is like some of the most genius shit he's ever done.
Right.
Do you think that like the before Kim, after Kim, which version of Kanye is creating more stuff that will live on longer than their life? Do you know what I mean?
Let me ask you something, man.
Yeah.
Can you think of a bigger rollout than Donda? In the history of music, do you think of a bigger event where the motherfucker said, I'm gonna play, I forgot where he played at, I'm gonna play this building and I'm gonna have nobody on the floor. I'm gonna sleep in the fucking auditorium or the arena. And the people can only be in the audience. And I'm gonna do this for 6 weeks. And I'm gonna let you guys watch me produce this album. He made an album rollout, a fucking 2-month event, bro. And then he brings on Marilyn Monroe. He brings on the baby doing that whole debacle. You know what I mean? Like, this rollout was incredible.
Yeah.
He makes his albums events. We talk about Donda. If the album's a classic, the presentation was a classic. So I haven't seen anybody in music bring about an album this way. So if you ask me, is it worse? I go, that's the most creative thing I think we've ever seen.
Oh, I'm not saying, dude, you're 100% right. You are 100% right as far as the rollout for Donda and him being able to promote himself.
Right.
That there might not be anybody ever that's as good as being able to like, build the anticipation. And so when it drops, like you said, it's an event because I mean, I'm pretty sure, didn't like Drake have a record that came out almost the exact same day? And was that him versus Drake?
Drake came out a couple months later, but Drake was putting up posters. We forget, Kanye did that already for one of the last albums. He had pop-ups of just shit on the walls. Rappers have never thought about rollouts. They just commercials and put a poster up. Kanye thinks about the rollouts. It's a fucking creative plan, So creatively, I think he's only getting better with how the further he goes into his psyche, I think.
But is the music getting better?
Depends on who you ask. You ask me, I'm gonna go not really. I like Donda, but we also gotta understand Kanye's working with music that we haven't heard before. So we're not used to it. You forget, 808 and Heartbreaks wasn't popular. We forget about this. 808s and Heartbreaks first came out, it was panned. Not critically, but with the fans. And over time, we go, oh my God, he's creating a new genre. He's creating a new type of music. You know what I mean? Like when Jordan Peele came out with Get Out, we're like, what the fuck is this? What's horror comedy? He's creating something new that we haven't seen. So I think we gotta let Beyonce's new album, it didn't get a lot of love, but she's on some shit that's been in the European dance scene for fucking 5, 6, 7 years, So she's bringing that to an urban audience. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice to change the musical landscape. Now we'll see if Donna's respecting and love like that in the future, but I give him credit for at least trying. He's not doing the typical 16 bar verses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but are these moments of him? I mean, it's like the infighting, the Pete Davidson thing.
Right.
I mean, that's like it's like he's like what he reminds me of now. He's kind of like Trump. He knows how to stir the pot. And he knows how to get people talking about him. And I don't know if that's really, he's just like in his head, he's not even thinking about the macro of how many people it's hitting. If he's just thinking, oh, I'm just sending this out and forgetting that there's, 40 million, 50 million people that are paying attention to it. But it's like, I feel like the more crazy shit he does, the more his music and his clothes, and the art, it doesn't hit as hard. It's like, to me, this is just to me.
Yeah. I mean, the album's still going #1. He's still, I mean, he's not losing anybody. People that hate him still listen to his music. Still buying his, who's he losing? You know? So it's like, as much as I hate the Pete Davidson thing that he did is corny, but we're talking about him. You know, he's Don King and Mike Tyson at the same time.
I was going to say that too. I was definitely going to say that.
And then also on the side note, like you're Pete Davidson, you're any comedian, you date Kanye, you knew that was going to happen. Like this guy flips out on everything. Why would he not? Of course he's going to come at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just kind of think like, you know, has there ever been anything in his career that he's done that would derail the way that you think about him? Is there anything so far that you were like, besides just being like, yeah, I mean, that's fucked up, but goddamn, it's selling records. Has he done anything that you were like, yeah, that's too far, or I
didn't like. I mean, everything he does, I don't like. You know, pretty much.
Everything.
I didn't like the Taylor Swift shit. Obviously, I was like, okay, that was the first one. The Pete Davidson shit just went too fucking far. I think when you call out your wife, when you got kids and shit, I think that's corny as fuck. Like your daughter's gonna grow up and see everything you've done. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter's gonna see this shit. So a lot of that shit. But I'm a comedian, man. So we grew up with a lot of crazy people. So I can kind of compartmentalize his music from who he is. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even look.
Do you think you have to, like, the way, I already think this question's going to be wrong, but do you think like you have to put him in the same kind of thing as like R. Kelly? He's not reached that level of like crazy. I mean, he's not doing like sexual assault type shit, but I mean the level of like, do you think he's going to get to the place where it gets so divisive where it's either you fucking like, yes, you know, we love Michael Jackson, but there's this other shit. Do you think it's,
I think he's already there.
Really?
Yeah, that we love him, but he's, you know, man, he's Bret Michaels with Twitter. If Twitter would have been out when Poison and fucking Motley Crue was raging and rocking, listen, they was hitting bitches and yelling and fighting and fucking up. They was doing all types of shit, but there was no Twitter. If Twitter been out, that should have been way crazier than what Kanye West is doing. Because Kanye West still has the trappings of a black male where he can go to jail for a lot of this shit. So if those come on, bro, imagine what Tommy Lee was doing in the fucking 80s.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised none of those people have gotten canceled or any. There's no like,
because there was no Twitter. There was no social media. That we don't know the shit they was doing. We just heard about, you know, Rolling Stone put out some shit every month. But come on, what they were doing every day. So he's a rock star, man. He's a fucking rock star, but it's social media there with health issues. So I don't think it takes away because whenever he comes out, it's a moment. You know, we look at him like Michael Jackson. We forget Michael had the fucking Elephant Man's bones and all types of shit. Yeah. You know, Michael had 2 kids situations, and there's not one place that doesn't still play his music. So I think we kind of want our rock stars to be a little crazy. I do. You can't R. Kelly it, but we want them to be a little fucking not like us.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. All right, let's talk. Let's focus back on the music because there's so much good shit on this record. Right. You know, let me ask you this: out of this record, because I have my opinion, but I want to get yours first. Like, how many of these are in a sense genius, and then how much of this record is filler? Because I think there's a big difference between like, wow, this is like, you know, like in my opinion, like we mentioned Jesus Walks, you mentioned Things Fall Down. All Falls Down. I don't want your favorite song yet. We're gonna ask that shit at the end. But you know, I just think that like if you go through this record, like let me get your opinion. What do you think? Like filler between?
I can't even call it filler only because this was 2002, I think, 2002, something like that. And was it 04?
It was 2004.
2004. I'm sorry. Back then you had to have a single. Right? Yeah. Right now, every single record on a Kanye West album is a record he wants to be on the album. He doesn't have to cater to an artist because they're going to come anyway. It was like that back then. Back then, a label can say you have to have 2 singles, right? You know what I mean? You got to have 2 hits with a hook. People can sing in the club and 3 presentable bars and then the 1 for radio. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really fair. We can't judge new Kanye to this old Kanye. He had to have a hit. But there are songs I don't like, obviously. I didn't really like it was a record called Family Ties or something. I felt like it was kind of corny. But I would say about 2 or 3 songs were like, yeah, we could have did without them.
I'm looking at the singles that are on this. So he releases Through the Wire first, which I get.
Listen, that's a classic record. It put him on the sample. He rapped the first original through a mouth brace because of the car accident.
Yeah.
So he took his pain from almost dying from a car accident, and he rapped it on a sample called Through the Wire, which was the double entendre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
That's a great idea.
He's got that. Then you have Slow Jams, which, if I'm not mistaken, was also on, I'm pretty sure it was on 3 records that came. I think it was on Twista, it was on Jamie Foxx, and it's on this one. All Falls Down, which is so great that, because I love this song mostly because they use that Lauryn Hill sample.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember. Do you remember like that unplugged that she did?
Yeah, right.
Where yeah, and I love Miseducational Lauryn Hill so much that when that record came out, that unplugged, I bought it. I was working at a crab house in Baltimore, and we used to have to like peel potatoes in the back because we were servers, but we had to do like our side work. Yeah. And we had one boom box, and I was like, dude, I got the fucking new Lauryn Hill shit. And I like put it on, and dude, people were like, yo, you got to turn this shit. This is depressing. Wow. It was just so sad. I mean, she has a breakdown. She starts crying multiple times during the recording. Yeah. But I think that's one of the things that I like, and including, Through the Wire and including the samples, because I want to look and see if I can see what some of the samples that they use. I feel like one of the superpowers that Kanye has, much like RZA, is being able to hear something from the 60s and the 70s and being able to be like, oh, let me chop this up. There's like a really cool video of him. I don't know if it's him actually making a song from this record or making a song off of the album after this, but he's like, it shows him like seeing the original song, going, all right, that part, and then he sequences that and takes that part out and does that, and then he just like makes the song. I think I have a question about this too that somebody might have asked. Let me double check. Peter, you might want to.
So this was the Soul Sample album right here, man.
Oh my God. It's that's why it's like, I think on this record, he is a far better producer than he is rapper. Nothing against the lyrics. They're good shit.
Oh, no. It's like, he probably was rapping 5 years before this album.
Is that it?
Not long. I mean, even in the video, you can see in the Through the Wire video, you can see Talib coaching him. Remember the video, all the clips? You can see him coaching him how to rap, how to say it. So Ye wasn't really, he was a rapper, but he was like, no, Ye couldn't rap to his second album, really. You ask me. He was like, he said some cool shit.
Yeah, looking at this right now, it says he started making a name for himself as a producer in the late 90s and early 2000s, getting his bring break in 2000 when he produced for Rockefeller. His true aspirations were to be a rapper, but he didn't portray the gangsta image, like you said. That was big at the time. After striking out with Capitol Records, Rockefeller signed him just so they wouldn't lose his producer abilities to another label that would give him a chance. And then he does Through the Wire, and then he makes the full record, and then so on and so forth. This is something that I thought was really fucking cool. And Adam, who's usually here, pulled this up. Wes is one of the best-selling digital artists of all time. Not just records, like the Beatles, Elvis, all that shit. Yeah. He's the 7th highest certified artist in the U.S. by digital sales at 69 million. He had the most RIAA digital song certifications by a male artist in the 2000s, and was the 4th best-selling digital songs artist of the 2000s. And in Spotify's first 10 years, from 2008 to 2018, West was the 6th most streamed artist and the 4th fastest artist to reach 1 billion streams. And he is the joint most consecutive studio album to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. 9. He has 9 times. Damn. I mean, it's incredible. Like, I'm just looking at the track list for this record, man, and looking at the sample credits. I mean, it's the Lauryn Hill. He's got Marvin Gaye. He's got Curtis Mayfield. He's got Michael Bolton. Michael Bolton, Slow Jams. You got Luther Vandross and Burt Bacharach. Aretha Franklin for School Spirit. It's through the wire is Shaka Khan. I mean, this is like, it's incredible. And also, I don't know if you know this, and did you know that it's not Bernie Mac? Do you know who it is that's doing the voice? It's D-Ray, which is insane.
Right.
Which is insane. That's
Bernie Mac was still alive back then.
I mean, he probably was, but it's insane. It's just like, just to be, that's no wonder D-Ray gets so much pussy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, funniest
shit. This was shit. I guess D-Ray was big back then. Yeah. I mean, shit, D-Ray might have been bigger than Gay back then. Dude,
D-Ray, I finally, I moved to New York and I was like going back to Los Angeles and I was getting ready and I hit him up because I was like, dude, we had met in passing and I was like, bro, I really, really want to do Mo Betta. And now Mo Betta's gone and now it's D-Ray's. I was like, I really want to do it. I'm going to do great. You mind put me? He goes, done. I got you, man. And then I show up to do the show and then they go, all right, we're going to put you on late. Right. And D-Ray's there. He's not hosting. And I'm getting ready for my time to go up. He's got another host, but he's like chilling. And suddenly, this is like, I think Morgan J is on stage. So they're going to put Morgan J and then me back to back. So two guys that kind of do music. Yeah. I am ready. I am prepped. The host comes up to me. He's like, all right, so I'm going to call you up after this dude. And then next thing you know, this girl just stands up in the middle of the showroom. She's like, fuck you, D-Ray. You cocksucking motherfucker. And he's on the other side of the auditorium. She tosses a table over and then walks out. And then the host and D-Ray follow her. And then Morgan Jay's up there playing the guitar. And he's like, all right. And he makes a joke. And then he finishes the set and he goes, all right. And then he goes, all right, I'm done. And he walks off. No host goes up. And just the sound guy just turns the lights on. And I was like, motherfucker, dude.
Wow.
Motherfucker. And then I hit up D-Ray and he apologized. He's like, I got you next time. And I was like, all right. And then I go the next time, same thing happens. No, okay. Same thing, same bullshit.
Same bitch shows up.
Same bitch. She was mad. Look, I think with this record, I'm not putting this, like, would you put this on Kanye's Mount Rushmore?
You have to. Of his whole catalog.
Yeah, his whole catalog.
You have to, for what it represented. You know what I'm saying? For what it did, you have to put it up there. For what he started, what he created, even though it was early, you have to. You know what I mean? It have to be his best. It influenced the world. This was the beginning of this superstar. You have to, I think. You know?
I just don't know if I would put this, if I'm going through what I like about Kanye, like in his 5 best records, he's done what, 9 albums.
It's not about his best, but it's one of his greatest. You see what I'm saying?
It's just because this is what birthed him, or is it?
Birthed him. You saw the beginnings of a superstar, the samples he used, how he came from nothing, his story. He almost died. That death, that almost dying in a car accident, took his hustle to 20. I have to make it now because God has me here for a reason. He kept me alive for a reason. And I put that pain in through the wire and these records. I'm going to do a fucking gospel song on a fucking rap album, and I'm signed to the most gangster hood record label in the game right now. You know how hard that is?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everything he did to get to this place, I'm going to combine Mos Def and Freeway. Like, you have to, for what the greatness was. I don't consider Tupac to be one of the best rappers of all time. Rappers, skill-wise, technical rapping, lyrical ability. Like Eminem could rap circles around Tupac. Jay-Z, lyrical ability. But when you put the Mount Rushmore of rap, you have to put Tupac because he was the most influential rapper to ever live.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You have to put that album on there because of what it did for rap music for the world.
Who do you think is carrying the torch for Kanye? Like, that's making music right now? Would you say Kendrick?
I think Kendrick is the closest to just create. He's the most creative artist alive. So I think Kendrick is the most creative. I like Drake's like the more Jay-Z. You know, I want to hear Jay-Z rap off. You don't care if it's the same shit about guns. I love how he raps. Drake's like that, but Kendrick's creative. Like this last album, nothing sounds the same. No two Kanye albums sound the same. You know,
I'll give him that. I'll 100%. That's what I love about an artist. It doesn't mean I have to like their music, but I like anybody that is constantly trying to do something different. Right. And I respect that because it's like you could rest on your laurels and just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna make Graduation over and over and over again. But not only is he changing with the time, he's almost, like you said, he's creating the next genre of what hip hop is. And that's more impressive than the record sales or anything. It's the amount of imitators that are coming from him.
Even with the stems thing, with the last album, he tried to he didn't want to do a label, so he put the stem so you can get the stem. You could buy a certain machine to play the music or whatever he did. Like, this evolution of what he wants to do with his music is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got some Patreon questions. Yeah. All right, this is from Ryan Kitching. He writes, I fucking love this album, ... If you can't get down with the new workout, plan or get them high, there's an obvious issue and you probably need to see a doctor like immediately. All right, Ryan, that's not a question, bro.
Yeah, that's just a statement. Yeah, it's the most commercial record on there. It's the one record I don't give a fuck about. Workout plan.
Yeah, neither do I. And we'll get to that. All right. And this is from Victor. I like this question. Just when I thought hip hop was dead, this album dropped. He's a genius. Unfortunately, he knows it. I told everyone about this record. Everyone. For me, it's number 1, Family Business. Number 2, Get 'Em High. Number 3, Jesus Walks. All these tracks bang though. What song on this record convinced you of his genius?
Jesus Walks.
Jesus Walks.
He made a gospel hip hop record that you love. It was on the radio. To me, it's a genius idea concept. I don't think anybody else could have did it. I think anybody else would be like, fuck that shit out of here. Imagine a rapper doing Jesus Walks. Take away Kanye, what we know as him now, a rapper doing a song called Jesus Walks. You'd be like, bro, shut the fuck up. And he made it cool and fun and interesting. It's probably his most famous song. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, what would be a comparison that would say, all right, so here's Jesus Walks. What even would you say, like Gold Digger? I mean, Gold Digger was a
hit. Jesus Walks' most famous song. You know, Jesus Walks is his. Eminem has Stan. No matter what Eminem does, I don't think he'll surpass
Stan. Yeah,
as far as great record. Like no, you think Eminem, you think Stan. Stan is a word. Stop. You're standing that person. You're standing him. You know what I mean? He defined a word, you know. I think Jesus Walks is that. That's going to be his Kanye West's defining record.
I don't think you're wrong. I think I really think you're right, or that's a good statement. Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to like rack my brain. What would be below that?
Man, that's a good question.
I mean, what is it? No, that's not it. That's.
I mean, Gold Digger was probably one of his most popular slow jams.
No. I mean, I'm talking you made a good point that this is like. I just think that it's. I get it. Love Jesus. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that this was Lekka. Get out of the trash. Sorry, my dog. Get out of the trash. I think like this is like this was like the perfect amount of Jesus in your music, and then to make a full album of like going full like gospel.
Oh, we forgot about that. Think of the balls. Think of the balls, Joshua. The balls to make a full gospel album. Come on, Sunday morning service. What?
Have you seen him live? Have you seen him live?
Anybody else's career would have been over, Josh.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Have you seen Kanye live?
Never.
I would go see him. I really, I'm going to see Nas and Wu-Tang tonight in New Jersey, which I'm excited about. But, I've seen Wu-Tang before, and it's like, I'm praying.
30 motherfuckers on stage, yeah.
Yeah, I'm praying.
I'm lying. I saw Watch the Throne tour. I'm lying. I saw the Staples Center. I'm lying.
How was he as a performer live?
I have seen him. Staples Center, Watch the Throne tour. I don't know why I forgot about that.
How was it? Like, how was he as a performer live?
It was the energy. It was such a great album to me, and it's such a great energy. And I've seen Jay-Z 17 times, so that's why I forgot about Kanye, because I've seen Jay-Z 17 times live, and it was one of Jay-Z's top 3, I think, shows. And they did Niggas in Paris 9 times.
They played it 9 times.
9 times. Record was so big, so popping, and not one time felt like it was too much.
Wow, that's incredible. I go see Kanye. I'm at this place now in music where I go to concerts nonstop. If I don't have a show, it's like, and being in New York, I did it in LA too, but much more here in New York, where I'm just like, yeah, what's going on in the city? I utilize whatever the city has to offer. And somebody had said to me, if there's artists that you want to see, don't waste time. Go see them when they're on tour, because God forbid something happens to them,
Prince.
and Prince, exactly. And I'm lucky to be able to say I saw Prince, but Kanye is somebody that it's like, you remember, just when it's an event, like you said, like that release party, people went just to watch him stand there and play his music.
Right.
Like there's something, and I guess it's not even so much that I'm a huge fan of his. I just want to get to the bottom of why he is such a genius. Because I, like you said, man, he's the Michael Jackson. I would put him as like the Miles Davis of hip hop, which is like he started doing the same shit everybody else is doing, and it's just go out and go out and go out. And I'm actually excited. I'm excited to see like how different he goes and how far past this album he goes, because he's already fucking miles away from it. But
Miles said, you know why I stopped doing ballads? Because I love ballads too much. And I think that's kind of Kanye leaving the soul sample era. I love it too much. I can't grow, So you're right on that comparison.
Yeah. All right, let's do the final questions. We'll get you out of here. This was fun, dude.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to argue more, but I'm pretty.
Arguing genius, man.
All right. Favorite song on this record?
Jesus Walks. I don't want to be. I'm hacked. So what?
I think it's his best song on this record. My favorite song is School Spirit. There's something I really love about School Spirit. What's your least favorite song on this record?
Probably Workout Plan.
Workout Plan. I would. Yeah, it's I don't.
Also, the most commercial record on the album.
Yeah, you know what? Let me look at it real quick. Hold on. Let me just see which one.
It doesn't fit. Get those titties right and get nuts in your life. You're talking all this spaceship shit about being love, and when it all falls down through the wire, I'm fighting for this thing. Jesus Walks, spaceship. I couldn't go into a certain store because of my color. And you got all these core albums. I'm quitting school because of this, and Family Business, and all this core shit. And it's like, I bet you get your ladies right.
Yeah. It doesn't fit on the record. You're right. I'll give you that. I'd say that, because I could also sit there and say it's one of the fucking 20 skits that are on there. I always feel like this was the era of skits where it was like you had to have that comedy thing, you had to have that talking, and it's like I'm happy to see that era of music and hip hop die out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go with you on that. All right. This is a 2-part question, and I'm excited about it. I asked this to everybody. One, is this a fuckable album? Can you have sex to this album? And 2, if you had to pull one song off this record to add to your sex playlist, what song would it be?
I mean, fuckable. I mean, I could fuck to a car accident. I don't care. Like, my stroke don't get influenced by beats. No, not really. I don't think it's a fuckable album. You want to listen to it, hear what he's saying. But what's the second part? If I could do what?
If you got to pull one song off here, what song are you fucking do on this record? Which one have you had to fuck the one? Slow Jams. Yeah, that was easy. All right, best. What's your favorite beat on this record?
I would go. That's a hard one, bro. I'd probably go. No, I don't want to say that. That's just too military. I didn't know if I loved the beats on this album, dog.
Really?
I was so into everything else he was doing. If I had to go, he was doing a lot of good shit. No. Breathe in, breathe out. No. 2 words. Bing, ding, ding. With Mos Def. Yeah. How'd it go?
It's where is it? I just saw it. It's 2 words. Yeah, with Freeway and the Boys Choir of Harlem. Yeah.
No. Yeah. 2 words. Yeah. That
was
right.
And then what album is your favorite lyrics by Kanye off this record?
He said, He
Where
said,
do you think that he showcases his best lyrical ability? It doesn't have to be a certain line, but which song lyric wise do you fuck with the most?
he mentioned it, man. Jesus walks. I
Yeah,
hate
you're right. No, I know. No, you're not. You know what? Listen,
talk
it's
about anything except for Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You know, you're right.
Hey, mama, I never packed for school. Some, I got back to school because yeah, that shit was hard. Yeah, Jesus walks.
The key phrase or the key sentence that was said during this is like that Jesus, he'll never do a more important song for his career than Jesus Walks. I mean, maybe
think about that song. It defines his career. I'm not gonna do what everybody else is doing. One, I'm not gonna be afraid to be who I am. Two, I'm gonna take a risk. Three, that song is all those things. Doing original shit, not afraid of it. You're taking a risk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That song is his whole career, essentially.
No, you're right. You're right. All right. What's your elevator pitch to get somebody to listen to this record?
For the regular, not for the rapper, for the rap fan, for the regular guy who can't get into the club, is music for the guy who isn't rich. And most people aren't that. So
yeah.
It's music for the regular people. You know what I mean? So and be this is what hip hop is going to be in 10 years. So get on it now. That's what it became.
That is what it became. No, I agree. I think that was perfect. Promote away. Anything you want to promote, go ahead.
Man, Rell Battle, everything, man. All Instagram, social medias. Season 2 of a show I'm on called Kill It. We start from October 31st. I'm in the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Donald Glover.
Is that why you were dressed? Wait, is that why you were dressed in that, like, with the dashiki?
That's a Susan Sarandon movie called The Gutter. I'm doing a movie right now called The Gutter with Susan Sarandon and Adam Brody. And but I got a next year, Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Donald Glover's Amazon shows coming out. I'm in that. And doing comedy and shit.
Yeah. Go see him, everybody. Watch his shit. Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. You're killing it, brother.
Me too, Josh. You making money out here in these streets,
you know, fucking, we doing all thing, dude. We got that toner money, dude. We got that fucking Kiehl's, dude. It's only gonna get better. I can't wait to see what lotion I'm using in 10 years. You know what I mean?
I'm looking forward to being on this shit, man. Thank you so much, bro.
I love you, buddy. Thank you for coming on.